everybody. You are listening to Hotter Than Health, the podcast. This is a podcast focusing on fitness, nutrition, and an overall healthy lifestyle. My name is Eliza Gelman, and I am so happy to have you here with me for today's episode.
He's a different species of a human being. He's different, the most different person I've ever met in my life.
Hello. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Hotter Than Health. I'm so excited for this week's episode. It has been long awaited, long overdue. I've been trying to schedule with them for about almost a year. I think almost a year. And with COVID, with business, their business is exploding. Everything is moving up and to the right for them. I'm so pleased to bring you an interview, a 3-person interview with Gunnar of GunnarMade and Q, who, if you're not familiar with who Q is the backbone of the entire GunnarMade operation. It is Gunnar's girlfriend, partner, soon to be a little more. Just make sure little cock tease at the beginning of the episode. Wait until the very end of the episode, and they have a beautiful announcement to make. So we have an interview. It's a 3-person interview. It was so much fun. We met up, we talked about the interview, and we really just let it rip. We have a lot of questions, not only talking about health and fitness, but also about building a business, also about body dysmorphia, especially coming from a man's perspective. We talk about how, we talk about the ethics of why he potentially doesn't eat any animal products. He talks about his goals and about almost it may look rigid lifestyle to someone else, but he really is an old soul that just knows what he wants. And I think that if anybody has any type of goal or mission or vision for how they want their life to be, this is a huge episode, because let's just start off by saying that Gunnar is 23 years old, and he has accomplished more than most people that I have known in their entire lifetime. He has accomplished so much, built a massive business. Credit to Q for a strong majority of that. But overall, Gunnar is a celebrity trainer, fitness influencer. He is a business owner, and he has built a plant-based, very plant-dominant lifestyle, and he has built that for his clients as well. So not only do they have so many things in their business pipeline, such as like a meal prep product and service happening, but they also have a lot of other physical things coming out, and you guys have to wait until the end so that you can get a better picture of what that may look like. But overall, Gunnar is a celebrity trainer. He has worked with celebrities such as Naomi Olindo and Madison LaCroix of Southern Charm, just to drop a few names. But he has seen incredible results. He has had a full mental, spiritual, and physical transformation with his body. He talks all about his transformation, his weight loss, and his health journey that he just actually kind of stumbled in to being plant-based to fix a lot of his chronic issues. And some of these issues are things that we have never really talked about on the podcast. So this will be one of the only places so far that his story will be told and will live for a little bit. I'm super honored that they came onto the podcast to really open up. Gunnar was very open, very exploratory, and I think that he was super eloquent, and I'm excited for everybody to see another side of him, and I was really happy to get to know a more human side to this almost machine type person who is just, he has got the most insane schedule, the most seemingly rigid lifestyle, and his body really is a temple, and we're going to find out all about how he treats it, what he does about alcohol. We're going to talk about plant-based. We're going to talk a little about protein. We'll talk about what he eats on a day-to-day basis, how he trains his clients to see these crazy results, and also more just about the mindset behind all of it. So Before we get into today's episode with Gunnar and Q, I'm so excited to announce that we are doing a small giveaway. Wait until the very end for a little bit more detail, but all you need to know is hop onto the Hotter Than Health podcast Instagram and go ahead, comment your favorite part of the episode in the comments, and you can win a full week of plant-based meal prep. If you're local to Charleston or Mount Pleasant or anywhere in the local area, then you can win a full week delivered to your door, plant-based, beautiful, healthy, refined sugar-free meals to your doorstep. Or if you're not local to Charleston, then you can win any of their incredible, beautiful programs they have created online, whether it's fitness, nutrition, anything that you need help with. You can win one of their programs that they deliver online. If this episode is inspiring to you, then absolutely leave us 5 stars on iTunes. It means the world. I can't tell you how significant that is. Anytime you guys leave reviews on iTunes, you'll send me a DM on Instagram. You'll be like, hey, by the way, I just wrote you a review, and it makes my day. I respond always. I'm so happy. It truly, I feel like I know you. Every time I read a review, I'm like, I know that person, and it's just really cool. So go ahead, hop onto iTunes, leave us a review, hit subscribe, and if you don't already, or if you listen on Spotify, go ahead and hit follow so that you never ever miss an episode. And again, if you're inspired by this episode, you guys know that I am like the plant dominant lady. I am the plant dominant guru. Check out my Instagram and you can book a free strategy call to see if it might be a good fit to work together if you're finally thinking, okay, this is my time. I need to focus on balanced nutrition. I need to focus on this plateau that I'm in. I need to focus on myself right now. It doesn't matter what time of year. If this is your time and if you feel called, then the strategy call is complimentary. And if you think it's a good fit to work together, then we'll go from there. If not, that's also totally fine. So I'm so excited to bring you guys this interview. It is chock full of so much knowledge. I do apologize for a little bit of the ambient noise. We did it in an outdoor venue and then we came inside, but there was basically a leaf blower up our ass the entire time. So just be aware of that. We are aware of it, but you'll be able to hear everything. Everything is pretty clear. It's just a little ambient music. It kind of just sounds like a little bit of a babbling brook, babble, babble, babble in the background. So I hope you all, I know you all will enjoy this episode with Gunnar and Q of GunnarMade Fitness. If you do not know who Gunnar and Q are, then you will by the end of this episode. If you don't know who they are, then it's still going to be a fantastic episode. You're still going to get so much value out of this. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to rate us 5 stars on iTunes and listen until the very end for more info on not only a giveaway, but a couple of personal announcements that they may have for us. All right, let's get into today's episode with Gunnar and Q.
Let's get into some questions because we've been almost setting this up for about a year.
Yes,
we've been trying to set this up, and finally the balls have dropped and we are ready to talk. We're ready to go. So
Y'all are so sweet. Thank you.
First question that I wanted to lead all of this off with is really just about your childhood, how you grew up and what made you who you are. I think that, to me at least, perception-wise, you arrived, you showed up, and you were here. I don't know anything about what your life was before fitness, before being GunnarMade. What was your childhood like? Where did you grow up? Tell me everything.
I grew up in Bethany Beach, Delaware. Parents got divorced when I was little. Long story short, my dad moved to Florida. I lived with my mom in Delaware. And I just didn't have a lot, I would say, growing up. Definitely didn't have a bad life, but where I was from, being on the beach and whatnot, everybody had money, 2 parents, and I was like, there's just Gunnar with, not vineyard vines, but, maybe something from the outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Outlets.
Not to knock the outlets.
It just wasn't up to date with, everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I really was pretty much a fat kid until sophomore year. My dad called me a butterball. And then it wasn't until my 16th birthday. I have 3 half brothers on my mom's side. They got me a personal trainer. It was 14 sessions one summer going into my sophomore year. And I got in phenomenal shape. Everybody was like, what happened? Because all I did was start sleeping, get my nutrition in check, which is probably the most important. And then I worked out all the time, every day, all day. And from there, I like started doing well in school. Like I was on the football team, but before that I would always get like just benched or, you know, helmet in the dirt. And then after I got in shape and got a few muscles, I started doing well.
A few muscles?
Yeah. I mean, so then I got a little confidence, and then okay. Fast forward, it's like senior year, I ended up being captain of the football team, and then from there I was like, where do I go to school? I was like, I could stay in Delaware, but typically when somebody stays in like the same place, you kind of just like, you just get like complacent. You're like, okay, that's good enough. I'm fine. So I wanted to, you know, try and make some of myself. So then I looked at academies, but it was more, you know, you have to know congressmen or like have some type of connections. And fortunately, my mom didn't have those connections for me. So then I looked at places like VMI and the Citadel, and ended up going to the Citadel. So then I'm at the Citadel. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. So,
which is already gonna feed your intense personality.
And that's what I thought. And it's definitely a phenomenal school, and I really thought it would be a little more extreme. But like the fitness was, I got in worse shape than when I arrived, because they just take
Citadel,
away.
get on your shit.
They just sleep deprive you like no other. And I actually was in the military, had a full scholarship with the Army. Originally went there for the Marine Corps. And I actually got discharged from the Army for narcolepsy. I have narcolepsy now. Never had it going into the Citadel. Narcoleptic. That's probably one of the biggest reasons I went more plant-based. It definitely didn't fix it. But if I eat meat or anything of that sort, or just unhealthy foods in general, it could be processed plant-based stuff, I will get so narcoleptic and just start passing out for 3 seconds at a time.
Can we pause there for a second? Because that's news to me. And also, nice to meet you. You're the first person who I've ever met who has said that they have narcolepsy. Yeah. So for anyone who's listening, narcolepsy is when you suddenly fall asleep.
There's different ones. So I went like, let's just say like $15,000 into medical like bills. And I was like, after that, I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't afford it. It was like, did a sleep study, put me on like basically, I forget the name. It was just like an Adderall to wake you up in the morning because one of my systems wouldn't turn on. Took that. And that actually caused me to get high blood pressure because with how much stress I was accumulating from not sleeping, plus taking this like Adderall in the morning, Anyway, so then I had high blood pressure that then led to me having something called LVH. My left ventricle, my heart had hypertrophy, and it's like athlete's heart, so sometimes you get it from working out too much.
Which like swells.
Yeah, so basically my muscle, a muscle on part of my heart got too big, so then it would restrict blood flow once it got to like a certain beat. So basically I couldn't work out for a very long period. Did yoga, went plant-based, and long story short, 3 months later, was off blood pressure medicine, didn't take narcolepsy medicine, and my heart was normal, and I was back to working out like I always have. I still get narcolepsy every now and then if I don't sleep or I'm overdoing it and I eat like crap, but it's not nearly as bad. I got in 4 car accidents when I was at the Citadel.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, so I was doing really good at the Citadel, and it was my junior year, and I got in 1 car accident. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, I just need a break, so I ended up taking a semester off, pursuing the whole fitness journey and doing the plant-based thing, and everything took off, and here we are, and never went back, but a lot happened.
Wow. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
That is a lot to unpack. But that's what we're here for, is that it's so, and I can say this genuinely, like I put myself out there a lot in social media, on the podcast, but you have built a whole brand. You both have built. Q has built, you have represented.
I'm a face. Q is definitely a big part of this.
Q is like the main event here.
I am GunnarMade.
How did you end up here with Gunnar?
Well, I grew up, very long story short, I lived everywhere, but grew up in State College, Pennsylvania. Went to Penn State. My whole family lives there. Moved a couple places, ended up in Charleston. I actually started in the fitness industry at Oblique magazine. So that's how I got into the fitness industry here. And
that's how we met.
That's how we met. I started one of the programs I started was like an ambassador program. So I got influencers in Charleston, and of course Gunnar, was considered an influencer, and we started hosting a bunch of events together. And then forward tracking, COVID hit, and we had started dating in between then COVID.
We were best friends, and then we started dating.
I thought he was gay when I first met him. And Asian. Gay
An Asian.
Yep. Had no idea.
We'll talk
And
about
we
your
figured it
background.
out.
We were still best friends.
He's
so it didn't matter.
Czechoslovakian. He looks like he has something in him. So
I thought you were Russian. I got the Russian vibe.
was it the jawline?
It was the chiseled, the severe jawline. That's what it was.
But I just work on that. I worked that out. So.
It's all about the angle in which you shave and gouache.
Yeah.
He wears a mouth guard when he works out.
So
that's
you
why.
guys met when you were working at Oblique and then ended up together
Yep.
and building. You basically took GunnarMade, which was just you as a personal trainer, right?
Correct.
So it kind of happened like he wanted to do rebranding. He had a perception in the community that he was just like this little flashy douchebag, and he took photos with hot girls with his shirt off on cars, and he was
I've
19.
seen they're nice photos.
Yeah,
I was
but
20 and I was
he
just
was
still
19, 20
learning.
years old, and he just like was trying to become relevant, and it just didn't match who he was. So I sat down and I do a lot of branding, like I call it authentic branding. It's just figuring out like who you are before you build a website and a logo, and like, you know, try to blow yourself up. Like, let's figure out what the cause to action is. So we sat down for, it was weeks, months, if not, just like going through questionnaires, answering things, and really figuring out who he was. And it was like therapy, to be honest.
And it's a way in the beginning of a relationship to really get to know your partner, like on a very deep level.
Absolutely. And he learned a lot about himself through it too, I think. And I took over social media, started, hosting photo shoots for him and building content that was raw and real to what he represented. And it just evolved. When COVID hit, Oblique magazine, everything stopped. So I started going more full board with Gunnar. We started GunnarMade meal prep. We started doing online programs together. We started hosting like personal events for his clients, and it just kind of became its own entity. Like, really, it felt like overnight. It just kind of blew up. So we're definitely in an amazing growing phase right now. We're still figuring it out, but what I believe in is with small brands and small communities that they need like a hype man and somebody behind the scenes to help them do all of the stuff that they don't want to focus on. And
so they want to stay creative and in their passion,
exactly,
and then not with the organization.
Yes.
And the...
So I'll do like, automation for back-end systems and help them run events and help them build brand awareness and do social media marketing. Just kind of like just their main man, but in the behind the scenes. They're in the front, they can focus on their art and be great at what they do.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure they don't have this extra burden on their back. So
Got it.
that's kind of what I do for everything, but GunnarMade is my baby. Like, always be my baby, and I'm very protective of it, and I love it. I love the community we've created, and
that's really big. You guys
amazing.
have genuinely, you have a community, and I think that that's something that a lot of people right now are lacking in the space. Is they start out with this huge passion, but they don't know how to aggregate a community. So I think you guys have done such a great job with that. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
you were raised by, was it a single mom? Did you have a dad figure in your life?
No, so my dad and I are very close now, but basically there was a time probably like 3 to 10 that we weren't extremely close, but I still saw him holidays. And then probably when I hit my teenage years, he was like he was a great dad, but it was more like just fun. Like, we just go on vacations, just learn all the manly stuff you need to learn. And now we hang out all the time. Like, we're going to Florida this weekend to see him.
His dad's the fucking man.
Oh.
Mike Muldrick. He is one of my favorite human beings. Such a good guy.
It sounds like you have a really solid foundation and backbone. Are you close with your mom still?
Extremely close.
So good.
Yeah, she put up with me, and I was a lot as a child, so I was probably worse than now.
I want to go back to, you said that you were called Butterball when you grew up. Before you started going to your personal trainer, did you have that type of intensity in you and you just hadn't found that passion for fitness yet? Or did that spark this intensity that was like latent inside of you?
So to go off on a tangent a tiny bit, like elementary school, I was like just disturbed, I would say, from like my parents. I was the kid in my 3rd grade yearbook picture that had a shaved head and tattoos all over his body. And this is just a nice elementary school, so it was a little...
real time. I was like...
No, like the little stick on.
Like, it was like a skeleton on his neck like this, and he was like that gothic kid that you're like, oh, that's that kid.
So,
all the layers to Gunnar.
Yeah, and then I would say middle school, I was like, just trying to get good grades. Awful with anything that's like English related. If it's numbers, Q can tell you
he's
like...
a human calculator.
Yeah.
Oh, got
That's
it.
why he's so successful.
But only on the number side, like writing and stuff, that's where Q has all the gifts. So anyways, middle school, I was just like, just a normal person, just trying to get good grades. Played football, but was awful and got bullied. And then, like I said, high school is where I got the trainers, a trainer, Noel, and just this little guy, and he taught me everything, like the whole foundation that I kind of apply today, and it was game changing.
You said you got bullied.
All through middle school, all the way up until I turned from a butterball to some muscles.
Yeah. Do you think that that is something that has stuck with you? Do you still, like, is there anything that comes up and you're like, oh, fuck that? Or you see a comment, or you hear someone else getting bullied or something like that, and then you're triggered by it?
Bullying, there's just, that happens so much in every aspect of the world. I mean, people do it left and right and they don't even realize it. But anyways, to your question, I guess, no. The only thing that it sticks with me is, like, I might be a little obsessive, and I know it about my body. So, like, I know I'm not fat, but I might, like, look at my stomach sometimes in the mirror and be like, dude.
A little dysmorphia?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I definitely still have that, but I'm aware. So.
And I think that that's really, really important that we talk about, is because I have male clients as well who want to focus on nutrition, because they can get to the gym 6 days a week. Like, they can do the heavy lifting, they can do all this stuff, but until you really, until you start to understand what is changing your body and what has the ability to change your body, then you feel powerless to the changes that are happening to your body or the plateau that you're at. So when you talk about dysmorphia, is it ever after, a bout of anxiety, if you're feeling like really overrun? When do you think that you notice it most?
Quick interruption to tell you all about one of our sponsors for today's podcast, introducing Ana Luisa Jewelry. Ana Luisa Jewelry is a jewelry brand with a simple but clear-cut idea that high-quality jewelry should not cost the planet, because now more than ever, our choices matter, right? So you can feel so good about wearing Ana Luisa Jewelry. I know I personally do. So they work with trusted partners who share their same values and meet their standards. So not only is everything priced incredibly fairly at Ana Luisa Jewelry, but they are produced ethically, right? So there's no unnecessary mining or excessive markups. They use recycled materials whenever it's possible, and they are 100% carbon and water neutral from cradle to grave. So this is going to inspire impact. You should feel so good about this type of jewelry. These are things that we never think about when we're buying jewelry, when we're buying gifts. It's all about fast fashion nowadays, but Ana Luisa does such a great job of making sure that everything is sourced ethically, right? So we want to do good for our planet, but we also want to look good, right? So a couple of pieces that I chose that I am absolutely obsessed with are a small gold dangling necklace with a beaten gold metal pendant in the middle, and then my two absolute favorites that I have not been able to take off. I've been wearing it while I train clients. I wear it on my Zoom calls. I wear it around the house. I don't take it off until I go to bed because I just feel so cool. They are these gold, beautiful ear cuffs that go around your ear. So if you're thinking that you want to have a little edge to your earring jewelry, then go ahead, add a little gold cuff. These are incredible. I love them so much. I got two and a necklace. So I've been wearing these because I've been considering getting another piercing, but I thought, hey, why not actually feel it out before I get the piercing and give it a try? So I'm going to be using these as gifts for all of my friends and family this Christmas. Ana Luisa just knows what to do, right? So for 10% off of all products, make sure you check out the link in the show notes for 10%. Again, that is 10% off of any of the products on their website. They release new jewelry collections every single Friday. That's right. Every single Friday they have new collections. There are hundreds of options online, and they have jewelry starting at just $39. And we know right now that it is not easy to get high quality jewelry at a fair price, right? So check out Ana Luisa, ANALUISA jewelry.com, so that you can make sure that you check out these new earring cuffs. You are going to absolutely love them. Again, that is Ana Luisa, ANALUISA. Click the link in my show notes to get 10% off of all products, and happy shopping.
I mean, I think everybody does this, but just my surroundings. I just look around, I'm like, oh man, that dude's in better shape than me. Or like, you look at like Men's Health fitness mags, and these people have 8 abs and they're diced like unbelievable paper thin skin. But again, now that I know the fitness world, I'm like, a lot of that's not natural, and people will say they take testosterone, that's still natural, but there's such a thing, especially with Instagram. There's little kids and like that have more muscles than me, like teenagers, and it's like that muscle maturity doesn't happen until your 30s naturally. Like, so that was a big thing that I realized once I got in the fitness world, that there's so many drugs, supplements, or just unhealthy things that people do to their bodies, and other people think they can achieve that when really it's never going to be possible.
Yeah. And
so that's a huge thing in my head all the time. Like, there's trainers all over the world that are definitely on something that's not whole foods, plant-based, and they look a lot better than I do year-round. So.
And also, like, genetics play a part of it. And I know people that have never worked out in a day in their life, and they poop regularly, and they've never had a zit, and they have abs. And I'm like, this is absolute bullshit.
It's not fair.
But at the same time, what am I comparing that to? How do I know what's going on in their head? I don't know anything about their struggles. And also, it's just something that's in front of us. We can't see our brain in the mirror. We can't see our talents and our charisma in the mirror. We can only see physically what's inside of us. So when you first started, you know, growing your name and getting Gunnar out there, it was based on aesthetic. It was a lot of photo shoots. It was a lot of like flexing, being around hot people, and having that certain image. Do you ever look back and compare yourself to that old version of Gunnar? Like, do you feel like you need to maintain that perception?
A lot of times, truthfully, yes, but then I have Q that pulls me back in on the more important things in life.
And you are extremely well versed in what you do, and it shows, and you carry it well.
Thank you.
And you're not braggadocious about it. A lot of people are like...
Used to be, but I mean, again, I'm only 23, so you live, you learn.
You've lived so many lives, and you're only 23. The fact that you're only 23
mentors,
is absolutely...
That's the biggest thing I could tell anybody, is hire mentors left and right, and that's the biggest thing I do every single day.
Who are some of your favorite people to look up to?
My favorite local trainer that I could say is my hype man besides Q. Like, my second biggest hype man is Tim Church. He is the absolute man. I see him once, twice a week for probably a little over a year now. And then I just started seeing somebody else who's a phenomenal trainer, Mark McGirt. Those two are like the local trainers I've been spending a ton of time with.
What do you respect about them?
They're really good at just like a lot of trainers, and it's very fascinating. So like, for example, a lot of people might be like worried that like Gunnar's gonna take your clients if I go to this studio, or like I'm doing something here, but like prime example, Gunnar trains like say 40 clients on his roster. Old Village has 5,000 people, so really Gunnar trains 0.001% of Old Village, and like Tim and Mark, they could care less like if they're showing me something that's their secret recipe, or they're just confident and they just think it's so cool that somebody's interested in learning and like, you know, try not to make the mistakes they made. So that's probably my favorite part about them. They're just honest, to the point, and willing to let me be like humiliated and ask questions like that maybe I should know or shouldn't.
Get vulnerable in your industry.
And they're super like always by my side. I could like call them today, be like, hey, I have this client. I truthfully don't know this answer. I've never had this. How do I do this?
Yeah.
And they're there, and like they would even let me send my clients to them for like an assessment to help me.
How do you think? And I want him to answer this first, but you're gonna answer it too. Okay. How do you think that your circle and your closest people would describe you?
Different, and Q would say an alien. I'm just an old soul and grandpa a lot of times. So.
Okay, so old soul, I could definitely see that. How would you describe him?
I'm gonna say it not as his girlfriend. I'm gonna say it as like somebody who's associates with Gunnar. He is somebody that is, like I say, he's an alien. It's a different species. I've never met someone who is so regimented and so committed and so disciplined. You know, even when you have those moments where you're like, oh, I had a good week. I like got up every morning, I worked out, I ate healthy. This fucker does it every single day, 7 days a week. We'll go on vacation. He still eats super clean, goes out of his way to make workouts happen. Like his body is a temple. It truly is a temple. When it comes to business, I've never seen a mind the way that his works. He's very numerically driven. So how Gunnar builds businesses, it's so different from me, but that's why we like work well together. He starts with a number and he says, I want to make this, and he breaks it down, and then I'm able to fill in the blanks there. But
I would like to make $10 million this year. Make it happen.
And he will. He literally will be like, give me pen and paper, and he'll do it. Yeah. But he is I would say he's a girl's guy. Like, all the girls love Gunnar. Gunnar is very sensitive. He might come off as this torturer on the internet. He's very introverted, very quiet, doesn't like big groups. But he's also probably one of the best friends that you could ever have in your life. Like, we have a small group of people that we keep close, and like it's probably the best crew I think I've had in a long time of people, and it's just like he just attracts amazing humans into our life. So,
and I think that probably we talked about this on the phone actually earlier, and it was so attractive to me. It's so appealing to hear someone talk about the ability for a man to be in touch with his femininity. Mm-hmm. I mean it in a sense of you listen, you're not reactive, you seem to really be grounded and nurturing I've only really seen it with your clients, but clearly to Q, and I think that probably is attributed to being raised by a mom for your very like formative years. You were surrounded by women, and there were so many people that I admire, but then when you try and tap into any type of connection that's deeper than just your profession, what do you do, small talk bullshit, things that don't matter, like the existential stuff, when you're able to tap into that and actually listen and not judge, that is where I feel like so many people would benefit from talking to you and just being around your old soul presence. Truly, like
it's inspirational. Like, and I think what I love watching with Gunnar is when he's around kids younger than him, and Gunnar wants to like mentor them, and they look at him. It's like, you don't have to be 23 years old getting fucked up. Like, like that is possible to be like disciplined and have your shit. I do think you should get your willies out. I do think you like,
every 6 months,
every like
17
need a point where you need to like
That's yearly actually.
yearly. Maybe never again.
Yeah, but
I agree. I think that it puts you in not just for a competitive edge, but I don't think that you just don't go along with the norm. It's so easy to go out and drink. It is so easy on a first date to be like, let's go get happy hour. It's so easy. But I think that you put it, a step above because you're capable of doing those things, but you realize that in the bigger grand scheme of things, it just doesn't make you happier. Like, it just doesn't make you happier.
It's true. He doesn't do anything that he doesn't want to do. And like, if it doesn't benefit in a healthy way, he's like, I'm not doing it. He doesn't care what other people think.
That's huge.
So we'll go out to dinner and we'll be with a bunch of meat eaters and drinkers, and Gunnar will be like, I'm good, I'm just gonna get a water with lemon and I'll get the salad with no dressing. And they're like, what? Even in the beginning I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, loosen up.
Can you just have fun? Like, pull the plug out of your ass, let's just enjoy it. Like, you only live once. But he's like, I don't need to do that to like be fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I at the beginning it was hard for me, but now I've just like not even accepted it. I'm like, this is actually inspirational and really cool. Like, I've never seen anything like that before.
It isn't typical to have someone with as much drive and dedication as you. So what do you think has been the biggest obstacle for you in your life, whether it be emotional or whether it be business that went awry? What do you think has been the biggest obstacle for you to overcome that's helped shape who you are and who you are in business?
All right, I need to interrupt this episode. We will be right back, but there is something very important I need to share, and it is ORGANIFI. If you've heard me talk about this before, you've heard me on my Instagram talk all about ORGANIFI's products, then this will not be old news to you, but maybe this will finally be the push that you need to invest in your health. All right. So some of my non-negotiables for my morning routine, as you all may know, is a cup of green juice. And I don't have time every single morning to do my green juice, especially if I'm coaching 5 a.m. classes or if I am quick out the door. I just don't have the time, and I don't want to spend $12 on a green juice, right? So ORGANIFI's green juice is absolutely amazing. It has things like matcha, wheatgrass. It is so potent and filled with antioxidants. It has the most incredible ingredients. It's sourced ethically and sustainably and organic. And let's just focus on that for a moment. So some of the products that I absolutely adore are the green juice powder. All right. The red juice powder is actually sold out right now. So sorry about that. I love that one as well. But I've been loving the green juice. You know I absolutely love the vanilla complete plant-based protein. It also has digestive enzymes in it. So that's one thing to note if you're focusing on gut health as well as regularity, but you know that you want to get in a good complete plant-based protein. This one also has digestive enzymes in, which I know you all will absolutely love. So make sure you check out the link in my bio. You can check it on Instagram. You can check it in the show notes, but you're going to go to Organifi, ORGANIFI.com/HTH to get 20% off of any of your products. I know so many of you have reached out saying that you switched over to that protein powder, but it's also time to make sure that you are getting some immunity boosters. They have superfoods. They have the greens juice powder. Those are my absolute top 2 favorite. You can go to that link and check out a whole page of products that I have and I use weekly, almost daily. All right, so check it out. They also have a ton that are designed for your natural woman's cycle. They have some that are great for nighttime support and relaxation, immunity, anything that you can think of. And you know that I wouldn't be putting you guys on a product if I didn't use it and if I didn't absolutely believe in it. So again, trust me, trust the products. You can use the code HTH at checkout or go to Organifi.com/HTH for 20% off of all of your products. Do not sleep on the green juice. I know that they run out once in a while because so many people just are obsessed. Check out the protein, check out the greens juice, and if you're making a pumpkin spice latte, it's limited edition. See if they still have the gold pumpkin spice grounding adaptogen ritual. Add that to your coffee and you can thank me later. All right, let's get back to today's episode with Gunnar and Q.
It's pretty hard to pinpoint probably one thing. I would say like my whole life, just little bits and pieces. Nothing's been that traumatic in all of my life. I'm actually very blessed, I would say, but I'm just young. I'm 23, so
yeah,
it's really hard to pinpoint one thing.
And that's fair to say. Not everyone needs to have trauma in order to be successful. Like that's
it was simply, I think, just surrounding myself with people either I aspired to be like or just people that.
I do think I could say one thing that changed his life is you should talk about your grandfather.
So yeah, the one thing most recently that probably changed is like ever since I left the Citadel, I've been work, stop drinking. After I got like my willies out maybe for 3 to 6 months of my life one summer, and then after, it was before Q met me, just so we're aware of that. And then after that, I settled down.
He's like, I really got my willy out on that one.
Yeah, everything was, yeah. And then my grandfather passed probably last February, and from there, the one thing I took away, the biggest thing is that life is too short to be so caught up in business and just financial goals and just numbers. So every 2 to 3 months we try and go on a vacation and do something special, and then about 1 week in a month we just do something small to like still tap out.
Good. I love that. What's your favorite way to tap out?
Our favorite place is the Florida Keys. We like going on the boat and just diving and just love the water. We love the water.
That's so good.
Nature.
What are your signs? What are your like
Leo
zodiac?
and Aquarius.
So is Leo a fire sign? I was about to say, and you're water, so clearly it works. But that is so funny.
It's something.
I'm fire too, and
Yeah.
I date fire. It's hot in there.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on this earlier, but when it comes to creating boundaries, that's really huge. With your clients, so many people have had just insane transformations from working with you, not just weight loss, but strength, confidence, and overall just being more aware of their bodies. What do you think is one of the biggest barriers and boundaries that people don't or won't or are resistant to put up for themselves?
Consistency is a big one. That's just on the type of person, but the huge thing that people just don't seem to realize, and it's fascinating to me. I even tell most of my clients honestly only train with me twice a week. That's all I recommend.
That is plenty.
Yeah.
I did it once a year ago, and I was like, not for me.
I'm not
I don't train with them either.
I'm not the trainer that tells people they have to train with me every day or anything even close to that. Less is more is kind of what I tell my clients. But sleep, that's something that, especially with my demographic of 35 to 45 year old females, like hormones, sleep. I mean, that's right off the get-go the most important. Not most important. Nutrition's the most important. Sleep's second most important, and then hydration, and then working out. Just honestly, I feel like how you would shape your body. But until you change nutrition and sleep, you shouldn't expect any change in your body.
I agree. And I think that even having one glass of wine can completely throw off your sleep cycle. So it's like, I think that what's really important with sleep is that it's like allowing yourself. I feel like it's just another level of respect for yourself. And you're just so much sharper. I think that a lot of people don't realize how sharp they could be until they get out of that fog. And especially because you deal with majority women, so hormones are regulated, and sleep will affect your regularity, and it will affect the way, it'll affect the way you poop, which is how you eliminate a lot of excess hormones.
Oh, I know about all these things.
I keep having to adjust because we're outside at Synchronicity and my butt is sweating so much. Quick plug for Synchronicity. If you're in the Charleston or Mount Pleasant area, what is Synchronicity? Like, what exactly is it here?
So it's like a recharge wellness center for recovery. So you come in here, and it's great whether you work out or you don't work out. It's so sweaty out here. But we send our clients here for recovery, to just recover inflammation and injury, and just to tap out. We're in a world that's like, go to these HIIT classes and all these insane workouts and on top of life, and it's like, hey, give yourself 30 minutes just to like meditate in the massage chair, or if you need energy or something, go jump in the cryo tank. So I just think it's like a wellness oasis.
Yeah, and it's all so clean, and
it's amazing.
But it doesn't feel clinical. It feels very homey. I love it here.
It's amazing, and the team here is just like, they embody everything that this place represents. It's just, you walk in and you feel better immediately.
It's a light place to be.
Yes.
It definitely brings a lot of levity. You have trained some of the literal hottest humans, yes, in Charleston, but arguably like the world. So what was it like when you created Madison's program? So Madison LaCroix from Southern Charm, she started working out with you and had always been strong, but absolutely changed the way she was eating, changed her perspective on things. Can you talk about when you made her the Madison Made program and what that was like and what that focused on?
So to start off, Madison and I have been friends for a very long time, and we're both very different, and just we do things in our own way and kind of don't care what others might think of certain things. So we bonded a lot over that, and we've, like I said, been great friends. She's helped my business tremendously and always supported me, been one of my biggest fans. But as far as her programming, the biggest thing was somebody like Madison that's, like a lot of my clients, she's an alpha. Like, it's very hard to take somebody that's an alpha, then train them and somehow make them more beta, like, so they can listen about their nutrition and all that. So took a lot of breaking Madison down. I can't say I ever broke her down. She never let that happen. It might have been the other way around.
I feel like she took what your powers are and then put her own spin on it so that it was kind of hers. You know?
The big thing is just accountability. I mean, she likes to have fun and socialize, and she's got a lot going on. She's extremely busy, so it was just finding what works for her and what would be most consistent. But it was like a less is more approach, like easy places to go eat locally, things she can order on the menus at certain places when she goes out to socialize, and just Whole Foods, and that was that. Just less is more.
I love it.
Yeah, when we created Madison Made, it was like it was meant to go towards a demographic of mainly females who just are working moms, or they don't have the ability to eat healthy. So it was an easy approach to it, and we wanted to make it accessible. So it was a meal prep approach, but it was a lot of what Madison likes. So we talked to her, and we've been working with her for years, and we know what she prefers and stuff, and we've done her meal prep for years, and we just kind of based it off that. It was super easy.
That was the biggest thing. So we, mainly Q or my meal prep team, cooked for Madison, and that was probably the biggest thing, because again, without her having access to the food like right there in front of her, it was pretty hard, to get those things to happen. So nutrition
is huge, and I want to talk about that. So talk to me about, what is your diet like right now? Why have you enjoyed it so much, and what have the main benefits been? Loaded question.
So I started with the plant-based diet because of all the health issues I had. Long story short, medical bills got too expensive, so Google search it was, and down a rabbit hole. Then I did it for about 6 weeks, got off the blood pressure medicine. 3 months, my narcolepsy was night and day better. My heart issue was fixed, and from there I was pretty hooked. And then I got back into like actually working out because for that 3-month period I just pretty much ate fruit, to be honest, and like grains and lots of beans. My stomach was upset from all the fiber when the beans started coming in, but
it acclimates.
yeah, so I stuck with it. First year was probably the hardest just because I didn't know anything about it, and I was like, the other person I used to be was like 7 meals a day, meat with every meal, like more like a bodybuilder diet. So it was a big like mind fuck almost. And then I finally started figuring out little bits and pieces, reading more, and got it down, and now it's 99.9% plant-based. I don't say vegan because it's really strange. I will never buy anything from the store. I will never support anything. If I'm out and there's absolutely nothing there to eat, I will not order off the menu, but I might pick at Q's plate if she's gonna waste something, because I don't believe in waste, and I also don't believe in starving yourself. That's not healthy. But the big thing is, like, we go on fishing trips to the Keys, and yes, fish are caught, and I would eat that fish. It's just this weird thing, and Q always gets something about the way I explain it, but like, it's not ethical because I'm still killing the fish, but I at least know the pain it's going through, and I'm causing that pain. It's weird. It's just the way I deal with it.
Yeah.
So I just would never wish anything pain in certain ways that happens. It's like an Indian, I don't know. When Indians used to like kill stuff, they like said a prayer about it. Like, it's really weird.
More sacrilegious.
Yeah, so I'm like more on that lines with it, and it doesn't happen often, but so not perfect.
Well, he was raised like as a hunter and a fisherman. Like that's what he would do growing up. And I think this transition for him was really hard because Gunnar finds a lot of peace in nature, and not in killing things, but he just loves the element of being out in the water and fishing. And we've gone hunting so many times, we never killed anything. It's like he likes he likes just like getting everything ready, going out.
It's still part of your identity.
Yeah. So he's had a really hard time kind of letting that part of him go, and then like, stepping into not just the vegan diet, but the vegan lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, 99.9%, we go on fishing trips and he'll maybe eat a piece of fish that we catch, but
yeah, so if I eat anything, definitely not dairy, no eggs, fish, lobster, occasionally, like summertime, and then maybe some deer during the winter, but other than that, you will not see me touch anything.
When's the last time you had deer?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Exactly. Well, okay, so what is your day-to-day like? You talked about this a little bit before we started recording, that you love fruit. So talk about, like, you wake up at what time?
So I wake up like 4:45 in the morning. I get dressed, then I drink 16 ounces of lemon water. Then I'm out the door. I grab my mushroom coffee. That's like basically a cold brew, and I throw some like 4 sigmatic mushrooms in there, and I'm obsessed with this stuff called brain dust. It's like another type of mushrooms, all different types. Throw that in my mushroom coffee, and I drink that on the way to work. And I get to work, I sit down at the gym, I set up everything I'm gonna do for the day. Then I basically manifest me torturing my clients, all the different things of what would be the worst thing I could do to them. And then I would typically eat a ton of fruit, berries.
How much is a ton of fruit? Like, let's get specific
A
here.
rigwa is probably, what is a rigwa? It's
like 24 ounce?
Yeah, so
something. So a rigwa is that bowl, y'all. If you can check it out on Instagram, on my Instagram at LizaG_wellness. But there's a ton of pictures. It's just like this big Yeti bowl, basically, that keeps everything fresh.
Correct. So I'll eat 1 to 2 rigwa bowls full of fruit, and there might be some nut butter or some type of hemp seeds, chia seeds, maybe a few oats. And that's what I do every single morning, typically about 2 24-ounce things of fruit. And if it's just 1 24-ounce, then I'm having juice. And one thing I take almost every day, and it's never gotten better, we call it a fireball shot, and it's turmeric, ginger, lemon, and a little bit of key limes that we juice. After the ginger, turmeric, key lime shots, I would be getting into my workouts like midday. It's like probably like 12 to 2. Before my workouts, I love beets. Typically, I just juice beets and apples, and then if not, it's like sweet potatoes. And if it's not that, it's like overnight oats. So I always eat something before I work out, typically 30 minutes before, 45 minutes before. I used to not to be able to do that, but now I would say I digest my food fairly fast or efficient, and it does not upset me. I don't throw up or burp like some of my clients when they work out and eat beforehand. So they run to the bathroom all the time. I don't necessarily ask why, better left unsaid. After that, my workout, I'll have a smoothie when I get back. It's simply just like blueberries, spinach, hemp seeds, chia seeds, and some 4-sigmatic protein powder. And then lunch or like late lunch after my workout would be some type of like Buddha bowl, grains, varies all the time. And then dinners are typically just like veggies with like tofu, tempeh, something of that sort. And then my midnight sweet tooth, we just do either another smoothie, protein smoothie, or I'm obsessed with frozen mangoes or just fresh mangoes. And then that's typically how my Monday through Friday goes. The weekend, Saturday and Sunday, very similar outline. I just don't eat enough because I sleep a lot on the weekends. I like rejuvenate, sleep. And then we probably have 1 or 2 cheat meals, like a neon tiger pizza or something, but it's all plant-based.
We also cook purple carrot.
Oh,
so
good.
I'll do that. Like, I'm not a big cook at all, and I've actually did HelloFresh for 7 years.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I met Gunnar, and then I was like, I have to keep doing this. I don't know how to cook, so we do purple carrot like 3 or 4 times a week, and we always did like the cleanest stuff. Their stuff's amazing.
I've heard really good things. Helen Hall from Butter Moms was talking about it too.
So good.
Here's a scenario. You're going to a potluck, holidays are coming up, and you are invited to a Thanksgiving, Christmas party, holiday party. What are you bringing? Literally, Vicky blew air through the window. Did you see the sawdust fly? Yeah. It's now on your chair, but who are we? Okay.
Do you know what a potluck is?
So basically, every year, I go to Thanksgiving and Christmas with Q to see her family. Love them to death. They're carnivores.
They're on actually the carnivore diet. Like, they read the book and
bacon, cheese.
They like pounds of butter on everything.
Really?
Pounds.
My grandmother's from the South. So.
This is challenging. Yes.
So Gunnar will go there, and what's the grocery store called? Wegmans. I will go there, and I will spend a couple $100 on fruit, and I'll be there for Thanksgiving dinner with my fruit plate, and everybody else is doing their thing.
Just fruit.
I mean, just something simple.
Are you making a big kale salad? Are you trying to get anyone else
if Q makes something,
Gunnar doesn't make anything.
Okay.
I'll grill stuff, but I mean, otherwise I prefer just to have somebody else do it.
To answer your question, I would make guacamole.
Okay. I just needed the question.
Well, what's the pad thai things we do?
Oh, spring rolls.
Oh my god.
So she made that for like Christmas. I can make chocolate covered strawberries.
Sexy, but you don't need chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
There you go. So okay, that's scenario 1. You are going to a potluck. You will be eating fruit. Q will be bringing something for everyone to eat. So, and then for someone who is, we talk about this all the time on the podcast, but for someone who is interested in adopting more of a plant-forward lifestyle, what would you start by removing? What would you start by incorporating?
Probably dairy and processed foods would be my first thing I would take out of somebody's diet. And then, honestly, I would just preach whole foods and lots of water. Most people just don't eat enough whole foods. Everything's pre-made or pre-bought.
Okay, last question for you. All the black. Always a hoodie. Always hiding. Always lurking in corners. Why all the black? Why all the hoodies all the time? I love black. It is my spirit animal. I think it's fantastic. I just am curious because you'll wear it like in the fucking sauna, in the pool, everywhere. What's going on?
I like to tell my clients I like to be humble, so I wear clothes on every part of my body because I used to not be so humble. It's more of a joke. Blacks, you don't have to think about it. I get up in the morning. I have literally 10 pairs of the same exact sweatshirt, the same exact sweatpants. Don't think about it. Just throw it on, get ready. So all that energy I would think about stressing about what I'm going to wear today, I know what I'm going to wear. And then it's just great brand recognition, like
Yeah, that's got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anyways, so like it just makes people question, it makes people curious. It's so funny to mess with people. I'll be wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants in summertime, training my clients outside, and they'll be like, "You hot?" I'm like, "No." My clients will complain they're hot, and it's a mental mind game. It's just mental.
Genuinely, it was 110 degrees this summer, and you were still wearing these things, and
long sleeve or sweatshirt, yeah.
And you just not suffering at all. You were fine.
It's all mental.
Sick of this. I know. God. And he's like, no, it's no big deal. I can hold my breath for say 18 minutes. Okay.
Normal.
And then what is on the horizon for you two? You two as a beautiful, amazing, supportive, and productive, holy shit power couple. And then for GunnarMade.
I'll answer that one. So we are relaunching for the 4th time.
No, personal first. Let's talk about us.
Like what? This is his feminine side coming out. Oh, we're buying a house together.
We bought a house together.
Congratulations.
So that's like as of literally, we're closing in like 2 weeks. So we bought our first little home together in Daniel Island.
We got promised, and if you don't know what that means, basically, I have an engagement ring, she has an engagement ring.
But they're not real engagement rings.
Well, an engagement ring is what you call it. An engagement ring is just the title you put on it. You know?
No, I have an engagement ring that I want. Like, I've already planned it out. This is just our trial engagement.
We just promised and did vows, and you know.
Didn't do your vows yet.
Okay. Well, we're taken, so it's just, you know.
So he goes around to everybody, goes, "I'm taken."
I am so obsessed with that, and I'm not even someone who like thinks about weddings and shit like that.
We don't want those. Yeah.
Okay, great. So
we just want the rings.
You don't want to do a wedding.
Okay, so this might sound weird to people, especially down south. So we are not very traditional in that way. We want to be together for the rest of our lives. We want to have a family together. We want to buy a home together. I don't
want the government. We just want the government.
I don't want like the government just telling me that. Like I feel like it's all paperwork at the end of the day. I would love to do a commitment ceremony with Gunnar and I, you know, somewhere in the Keys in the future. But like, I don't want to have a big party celebrating it or like anything. I just want to, like, we're not like that. Yeah. So I definitely want a ring though. Definitely want the ring. Yeah.
I mean, do what you got. You already have rings, and it's
So our trial phase started in August. So if everything goes as planned, as Gunnar calculated, this upcoming August
Gunnar has the numbers game, and he's trying to figure out how to
22.
get you this ring.
He's calculating our
engagement. We will get rings.
So do you think you'll do the whole get down on one knee, propose lifelong commitmentship with a ring?
Gunnar might do it a little differently, but yes.
I'm just so thrilled for you guys. And yeah, what's going on with GunnarMade coming up?
So GunnarMade, like I said, we have been trying to get meal prep launched for 2 years now. So we finally hired a professional consultant. His name's Doug Mcnish. He is the chef for Neon Tiger as well. He's been in the vegan movement for 25 years. It was considered like witchcraft, you know? So cool. He is helping us build a bulletproof concept. We have the demand there for it. People want this, which makes us so happy. And our goal with this is not to make it just a plant-based meal prep program. We want it to be a movement for what being a vegan is, not just because of the food, but like the ethical reasons behind it. So it's going to be a big mission of ours to explain that in a way that's not aggressive, you know? So that's launching next week. We'll do 1 free week of meal prep. 15 meals, that's $300 free of meals. So
let's do that. All you have to do is go into my most recent GunnarMade NQ podcast Instagram post, comment on it, what you liked about the episode, and we'll choose from there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a great offer. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. The food is diverse. It's healthy. It's very aligned with what Gunnar wants. It's low sugars, non-refined sugars, low fat, low oils. He hates everything's whole foods. We're working on getting to 100% organic. It's very expensive to be organic, but we're doing our best to.
The certifications are expensive.
And maybe in time, that's, you know.
Yeah, we're just in our pilot program now. So we have a pipeline of all these things we want to do. We want to do detoxes and juices and all kinds of things. So it's going to be amazing. We're excited about that. Our online portal we launched this year. So we're really big on accountability. So online training can be tough on your own. So we really worked hard on implementing accountability tools. So we built like a digital version of it. So we launched PlantMade, which is a 6-week, I'll send it to you.
It's so amazing.
A 6-week plant-based meal prep program, but it's also an educational program. So it talks about, Jackie McKelvey talks about being socially vegan. The owner of Neon Tiger, John, talks about farming agriculture. Lauren Zimmerman from Synchronicity talks about the Mythbusters of where do you get your protein from, you know? So it goes and it has resources, documentaries and books and podcasts on how to educate yourself. So that's an amazing program we're really proud of. And then we have Remade, which is a 6-week fitness program. We have the option for home, especially with COVID world, and also our demographics. Moms, sometimes they can't get to the gym, and we have a gym version too. And it's like just having Gunnar with you at home. So
I love that so much. That's amazing. That's a lot in the pipeline. That's a lot going on.
So that's launched. But our goal is at least my goal is to blow up online. Like, we really want to start filming and doing a lot more online programs from nutrition and fitness and just everything. So that's my personal goal.
That's so exciting.
He has some other ones, though. You want to talk about your goals?
Gunnar might be opening a gym or studio.
In 2022, in 2023, in Charleston?
Stay tuned.
GunnarMade Gym.
It would not be called GunnarMade.
But, I mean, it would be called something.
If I created something, it'd be bigger than myself, and it'd basically teach trainers the things that all the mentors have taught me in very simplistic ways and let them build their own brands. The biggest thing my gym would emphasize is a plant-based, whole foods diet, and just less is more.
I fucking love that. And I'm so into that. And I think that once people realize that once you switch over to plant-based, like, working out is so different. Like, you can have the most intense workout and not be sore the next day. It's just, the recovery is different. Everything is different.
And as a female, I've never not been bloated until I went plant-based. I've never, like, the inflammation, the weight, like, I dropped weight like it was nothing when I went plant-based. I, like, sleep better, my skin's better. It's magical.
My boobs are totally gone. So worth it. But thank you guys so much for being here and just giving your heart and your time and your soul and just opening up and letting people know a little bit more about Gunnar and Q and everything y'all have going on.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Of course.
You're killing it, girl. We're honored to be on the podcast. You reached out to us a year ago, and Gunnar was scared. He was like, I'm not ready for that yet. So it means we're growing. We're doing big things. We're on Eliza G podcast.
Make sure you guys follow them on Instagram. All of this information will be in the show notes, and you can make sure that you are involved in the giveaway. It's worth $300. We're doing a full week of plant-based meals from their full business. So go on to Hotter Than Health podcast, comment on the most recent Instagram post with Gunnar and Q, and you'll be entered to win.
They just have to live in Charleston. That's it. We don't ship it.
But you could also, if you don't live in Charleston, then you'll win one of the other online programs of your
choice. Which is like $150.
$160,
$160 for both of them. So.
Amazing. Either way, massive value and massive opportunity here. All right, so I will talk to you all next week. Thank you so much for listening.
That is it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed and got so much value from Gunnar and Q and learned a little more about their whole life. Remember, if you are interested in winning any of their products, especially if you are local to Charleston or Mount Pleasant, if you want to win a week's worth of plant-based meals delivered directly to your door, then absolutely go to the link, not even the link, go to Hotter Than Health podcast on Instagram and tell us your favorite part of the episode. Let us know and we will get in touch with you and send you your free gifts. If you're not Charleston local, then you can still win a free online program. All right, I hope that you all enjoyed that, and I'm so excited to bring you a new beautiful interview next week. Let me know how you liked the episode on iTunes. Rate us 5 stars, and we will talk to you next